maybe it's just me, but he's different.
Yeah, no, I picked up on that.
I picked up on that too.
First off, loved the movie. I did want to ask you, Bumblebee has notoriously been silent for almost 20 years in theatrical releases, right? So
That's right.
I wanted to ask you, what was your approach to like finally giving this character a voice after so long?
I mean, it was like I was champing at the bit, you know what I mean? Because it's like there's no rules, right? Nobody can tell us what to do. This is the origin story. So It was so exciting and fun that Josh Cooley, the director, and I, we just got to kind of build this together however we wanted to do it. And of course, you know, there's guidelines given the script and the story and the journey of his life and how it escalates and ebbs and flows. But I was ready to tear into the steak of the steak of this role, of what it was going to be, the meat of it.
Yeah, you mentioned collaborating with Josh for the role, right? This is a very stacked cast. Were you playing off of each other? Was it more of you in the booth alone? How did that?
Yeah, it was more. It was in the booth alone. We didn't have an opportunity. I mean, especially everybody's schedules. You know, I mean, you're talking about Chris Hemsworth and freaking Scarlett Johansson here. Like they're busy. So we never had the opportunity to work with each other. But so I say kudos to the editing team for the movie because I mean, our chemistry I think is pretty great. It's pretty great in the movie. But but I worked a lot with Josh. You know, Josh Cooley and I spent a lot of time together, and I'm sure he did with the other actors too, and he was my scene partner.
Nice. So with this being animation, obviously if it was live action, you'd be on set. You can kind of see the project come together. What was it like seeing the finished product after so long?
You know what, Mike? It was glorious. It's one of my favorite parts of animated projects is that you get the opportunity because you just don't know exactly how it's going to come together. And even when they have some of the animation done and they show it to you, it's really exciting, but it's not the same thing as when they stitch the whole story together. It's so magical to experience. It's one of my favorite parts of working in this part of the industry.
Is your approach to animation different, like when you're approaching that character, since it's just your voice, right? It's not like you can really get physical with your performance.
Yeah, it's funny. I get physical anyway in the booth. I don't know that I've ever left a booth without at least a couple beads of sweat. But part of it is depending on the character. It was a little bit different in this role than a lot of my roles. I am subject to going over the top quite a bit because I want my voice to match the exaggeration of the visuals.
Yeah. So
I try to have them meet. And in this one, the visual, you know, he is very humanoid, and also I think me undercutting some of the stuff and making, you know, when he makes comments about things and you try to get a laugh, undercutting it worked quite a lot in this movie. So it was a different experience for me in a way.
Interesting. So is there anything that you are excited for the audience to see? Like, is there a favorite moment that stood out to you that you can't wait for them to check out?
Yeah, I think I really want people to see. One of my favorite parts of the movie is it begins. One of my favorite parts of the movie begins once they get their cogs and they're trying to figure out how to transform. I think is absolutely fantastic. The fact that you're witnessing the first time that Optimus Prime transforms. You're thinking of the greatest transformer, that there was a time when he didn't know how to transform. And to me, that part of the film is exhilarating, absolutely exhilarating. And then it continues on toward the end of the film because they're still, especially Bumblebee, discovering new attributes of what they can do when they transform. It's that part of the film I think is genius.
It's genius, and you know he earns the title Badassatron every time that sequence ends, right?